Good morning, dear students. Welcome to continue part of second, that is the northern mountains and plains. Yes, in the previous class I have taught you about the Himalaya range. Okay, so it has classified into three ranges. First one is the Himadris, that is Greater Himalayas. Second one is the Himachal range or the Lesser Himalaya, and the third one is Shivalik range or Lower Himalayas. Okay, so in this class we are going to discuss about the northern plains. Okay, so northern plains, let us discuss. So the northern plains, it is also known as Indo-Gangetic plains. Yes, and it is lie south of the Himalayas at the foothills. Yes, the orange shaded area, it shows the northern plains. Yes, so it has Rajasthan, Punjab, Haryana, Delhi, that is Uttar Pradesh, Bihar, Assam and West Bengal. So this area is included by the northern plain. Yes, and the northern plains extending from Punjab to Assam. Yes, and they also cover the states like Haryana, Uttarakhand, Uttar Pradesh, Bihar and West Bengal. Yes, and the plains are approximately 2400 kilometer long, and the width, it varies from 150 to 300 kilometer. So northern plains, it has approximately 2400 kilometer long. Yes, and three important rivers that originated in the Himalayan range and flow through this belt. Yes, that is which belt? That is northern plain belt. Yes, so rivers like Indus, that flows through the Pakistan in the west side, whereas river Brahmaputra, it flows through eastern India into the Bangladesh. Yes, so you can observe here. Yes, the Indus river is there, Ganga river and Brahmaputra river is there. Yes, so river Brahmaputra, it flows through the eastern India into Bangladesh and finally into the Bay of Bengal. Next one is the Ganga river. Yes, and it is the longest and most important river flowing through these plains, and it is also flows into Bay of Bengal. Yes, so there are three prominent rivers that flows in this region. So they are Indus river, Ganga river and Brahmaputra river. Yes, and as these rivers flow down the Himalayas into the plains, they carry with them a lot of silt which they deposit on the flat plains, making the soil very fertile. Yes, and this soil is very useful to agriculture. Yes, and naturally agriculture become the main occupation of this area, that is Ganga basin area. Yes, and as the rivers are snow fed, they have water throughout the year. Yes, and such rivers are called perennial rivers. Yes, perennial rivers means that has snow. Yes, and that carried water throughout the year. That's why these rivers are known as perennial rivers. Yes, and many important cities of India have developed along the banks of these rivers and their tributaries. Yes, and these cities are densely populated because the water source is available. That's why that cities are very densely populated. Yes, that is, it has most populated. Yes, that is, lot of population is there, and there is an excellent network of roads and railways and this part of the country. Yes, and this helps in transporting the crops produced here and to other parts of the country. Yes, and the northern plains can be divided into three rivers. That is, the first one river is Ganga basin river, next one is Brahmaputra basin, and last one is Satluj basin. So let us discuss about the first one, Ganga basin. Yes, so the Ganga basin, is the holiest, that is the Ganga river. It is the holiest river for Hindus and it is 2500 km long, and it originates from the Gangotri glacier as the Bhagirathi and Alaknanda river. Yes, and also river Mandakini originate from another glacier near Kedarnatha, and it also joins Alaknanda at Rudraprayag. Yes, so Ganga river, it is a very important river and it is a holistic river of the Hindus, and it has 2500 km long, and this river originate in the Gangotri glacier. Yes, and next from here it proceeds towards the Devprayag, where it joins the Bhagirathi from the Gangas. Yes. Next, the Gangas enters the plains at Haridwara and flows through the state like Uttarakhand, Uttar Pradesh, Bihar, West Bengal, and lastly it joined by several tributaries along the way. Yes, and the river Yamuna, which is also originate from the Yamunotri glacier, and it meets Gangas at Allahabad. Yes, so river Yamuna, it is also originate in this area and it meets Ganga at Allahabad. Yes, and the meeting point is called Sangam. Yes, and the Kumbh Mela. Yes, so Kumbh Mela, which is held here once every 12 years. Yes, and millions of pilgrims gathered at Allahabad during this time. Yes, so Kumbh Mela is held here once every 12 years. Yes, and millions of pilgrims gather at Allahabad during this time. Yes, and rivers Gomti, Gagra, Gandak, Kosi, Chambal, Ken, Betwa and Sindh join the Gangas as it flow eastwards. Yes, and the Ganga basin is the most densely populated part of our country, and it is also the most fertile. Yes, that's why the most populated or the densely populated part of the country. Yes, and also it is called the food bowl of India. Yes, and different crops like sugarcane, rice, wheat and jute are grown in plenty here. Yes, and next one is the Brahmaputra basin. Yes, so the Brahmaputra basin, so this is the Brahmaputra basin. Yes, the Brahmaputra, it is one of the major rivers of the South Asia, and it flows through the three countries. They are China, India and Bangladesh, and it flows for 2900 kilometers from its source in the Himalayas until it meets the Bay of Bengal. Yes, and it is born in Tibet as the Stangpo. Yes, Stangpo means purifier. Yes, and also it flows eastwards and takes a very sharp turns as it curves across the gorges in the Himalayas, and it enters India via Arunachal Pradesh, then turns south towards Assam. As it drains the Assam valley in the east, it is joined by the large rivers like Dibang and Subansiri. Yes, Subansiri and Dibang. These are the true rivers. And the Brahmaputra rivers gains in volume as it flows eastwards through Assam and then turns southwards to enter Bangladesh. Yes, and here meets the Ganga, and together they form the largest delta in the world. Yes, what is the delta? Yes, so delta, it is an area of land often shaped like triangle in which a river divides into a smaller rivers before it empties into a sea or an ocean. Yes, so let us discuss next one, that is the Brahmaputra Ganga's delta is the world's largest delta, covering parts of the state of West Bengal in India and Bangladesh, and also it stretches from the river Hooghly in the west to the Meghna river in the east. Yes, and it is also known as the Sundarbans Delta, and it empties into the Bay of Bengal. Kolkata and Haldia in India and Mongla and Chittagong in Bangladesh are the principal seaports of. Yes, and the Brahmaputra basin rivers very heavy rainfall during the monsoon seasons due to the monsoon winds. River Brahmaputra, it is also perennial river. Yes, and this causes frequent flooding in that area, and this results in a lot of suffering for the people, but it also makes the soil extremely fertile by depositing silt, and it is sometimes referred to the green delta. Yes, jute and rice grow in abundance in Brahmaputra basin area. Next one is Majuli. Yes, so Majuli is the biggest river island in the world, and it is the first island district of the India. Yes. Next one is the Satluj basin. Yes. Yes. So this is the Satluj basin. Like the Brahmaputra river, Satluj river also called Satluj. Yes, and it is also born in the Tibet, and it rises from Lake Raksatal. Yes, in the Tibet near Mount Kailas. Yes, and Satluj is the longest of the 5 rivers that flow through the border region of Punjab in India and Pakistan. Yes, and it is the easternmost tributary of the Indus River, and also it enters India at Himachal Pradesh. As Punjab and Haryana don't receive much rainfall, its waters are mostly used for irrigation purpose. Yes, and farmers mostly depend upon rivers, canals, and dams. Yes, and next one is the Bhakranangal Dam. Yes, so it is a multi-purpose project. Yes, on the river of Satluj river. Yes, and next one is the Indira Gandhi Canal. Yes, and also wheat, rice, cotton, and sugarcane are the main crops are grown in the Satluj basin area. Yes, so this is the basins like Brahmaputra and the Satluj. Yes, so thank you for watching video, and there is a one video that is related to the basins of India. Watch that video. Thank you for watching video.
The Northern Plain is located in the southern part of the Himalayan range. The plain is formed from the flood plains of 3 big river systems: the Indus, the Ganga, and the Brahmaputra. Based on the names of these river systems, the Northern Plain is also called the Indo-Gangetic Plain. The alluvium from these river systems was deposited in the vast basin at the foothills of the Himalayas over millions of years. These deposits built up to form the present-day fertile Northern Plain. The plain spans the area of a small country. Can you estimate the area of the plain? The area of the plain is about 7 lakh square kilometers. The width of this plain varies as you go from north to south. At its narrowest, It stretches across 240 kilometers. At its widest, it stretches across 320 kilometers. The length of the plain is 2,400 kilometers. As mentioned earlier, the soil cover in this plain is rich and fertile, and water is found in plenty. Combined with a favorable climate for growing several major crops, the northern plain is one of the world's most intensively farmed areas. Therefore, it is not surprising to note that the northern plain is a very densely populated physiographic division of India. Did you know, not just in India, the northern plain is one of the most populated areas on Earth. Let's come back to the river systems that helped in the formation of the northern plains. The rivers coming from the northern mountain carry a huge load of eroded soil and debris. As a river flows down towards the plains, due to the gentler slopes, its velocity decreases, and the material carried by it gets deposited on the way. These deposits can lead to the creation of riverine islands. For example, in the Brahmaputra river flowing through Assam lies an island called Majuli. This island is famed to be the largest inhabited riverine island in the world. The speed of the rivers reduces further as they go downstream. Due to the deposition of huge quantities of silt, these rivers split into numerous channels. These channels are called distributaries. The sediments from the mouths of all the distributaries collect to form a delta. For example, the Ganga-Brahmaputra delta is an important part of the northern plain. In fact, with the expansion of the deltas, the northern plain is becoming bigger as well. Now, we'll take a closer look at the northern plain. The northern plain can be divided into three main parts. Starting from the top, the western part of the northern plain comes first. This part is formed by the Indus and its tributaries. The Indus and its tributaries, the Jhelum, the Chenab, the Ravi, the Beas, and the Sutlej, originate in the Himalaya. These rivers lies the fertile state of Punjab. This part of the northern plain is also called the Punjab Plain. If you look at a map of India, however, you will find that a bigger portion of the Punjab Plain lies in Pakistan. Did you know? The name Punjab is made of two words, Panj and Ab. Panj means 5 and Ab means water. As you can see, the name Punjab is based on the 5 rivers that drain the state. In fact, this section of the northern plain is dominated by Doabs. Do means 2 and Ab means water. So, a Doab is a piece of land drained by 2 water bodies. The map shows the Doabs that comprise Punjab. For example, Jech Doab lies between the Jhelum and the Chenab River. Let's move to the next part of the northern plain, the Ganga plain. This plain consists of the middle portion of the northern plain and lies between the Ghaggar and the Teesta rivers. The Ganga plain spreads over most states of North India. It covers Haryana, Delhi, Uttar Pradesh, Bihar, and parts of Jharkhand and West Bengal. Finally, the eastern portion of the northern plain is called the Brahmaputra plain. This plain lies in the state of Assam. So, which states of India are covered by the northern plain? The different states that fall under the northern plain are Punjab, Haryana, Delhi, Uttar Pradesh, Bihar, parts of Jharkhand, and West Bengal, and Assam. What kind of relief features do you think the northern plain displays? People generally think of the northern plain as a region that has uniformly flat land all across. That's not quite true. You can find quite a bit of variety of relief features in the northern plain. In fact, based on these variations in relief, you can divide the northern plain into 4 regions: Bhabar, Terai, Bhangar, and Khadar. Let's find out more about these regions and the features that each of these regions displays. We begin with the Bhabar region. The Bhabar region is a narrow belt of level surface in the northern plain, lying parallel to the slope of the Shivaliks. This region is about 8 to 16 kilometers wide and consists of pebbles deposited by the rivers after they flow down from the mountains. Interestingly, all the streams disappear in the Bhabar belt. Therefore, the level of groundwater is very deep here. Moving south of the Bhabar belt, you come to the next region, Terai. All rivers and streams that disappear in the Bhabar belt resurface in this region. The Terai region consists of wet, swampy, and marshy land. The high water table creates a lot of springs and wetlands in this region. Earlier, the Terai region was thickly forested and abundant with wildlife. However, urbanization has taken its toll, and the forests have been cleared, in some places to obtain agricultural land, and in others to provide for the people who migrated from Pakistan at the time of the partition. You may have heard of the Dudhwa National Park. This park is located in the plains of the Terai in Uttar Pradesh. Billy Arjan Singh, a famous conservationist, led the effort to establish Dudhwa as a sanctuary of the swamp deer. The next region, called Bhangar, is the largest part of the northern plain. Bhangar is formed of older alluvium. This region lies above the floodplains of the rivers. It, therefore, has a terrace-like appearance. The soil in the Bhangar region contains calcareous deposits. It forms sheets across the alluvial plains. In India, these deposits are called kankar. So, what happens to the newer deposits of the floodplains? The newer, younger deposits of the floodplains form the fourth region of the northern plain. This region is called Khadar. The alluvial deposits in this region are renewed every year. Therefore, the land is fertile and used extensively for agriculture.